Hey you, welcome to IJustWatched. I'm Joseph, and I'm hitting you with my top 10 movies of 2022. Alright, starting with number 10, I'm going to work my way up. And these aren't the biggest box office hits. They're not, the Oscar winning nominee, none of that shit. These are movies I love, that I enjoy, that I want to go out of my way to rewatch, re-enjoy, and, gave me the goosies when I was watching the movie, gave me the feels, made me do research, made me go, ooh, things like that. So starting with number 10, I mean, it's kind of a given, you should know by now. Scream 5. I love Ghostface. I also think the way they requeled it was very smart. They were able to give us a new story and push characters forward. I'm excited for 6, but that's dependent on whether or not they bring Homegirl back and proper. But I won't get into that. Scream 5 itself was very well done. I like that, some beautiful shots. It felt real when they take out my boy Dewey. And there was a few shots of just Ghostface just looking proper. I love Ghostface. So Scream 5, without question, was a banger for me. Number 9, a surprise. I was intrigued, but didn't expect it to be so damn good. The Black Phone, starring Ethan Hawke. Whew, like, watching it, I was sitting there like, okay, it's a good movie. And it just kept getting better and better. The interaction with the spirits of the kids and the backstory from them. His changes from the mask and his characteristics. Next year, Halloween, we know we're going to see that mask everywhere. Like, I absolutely love that movie. Big surprise, caught me off guard, and it was creepy. Like, it was one of the few times that I was watching a movie and I was actually kind of creeped out. It's been a minute, so I enjoyed that aspect of it. Plus, I enjoyed the twist. It's not huge, but the subtle twist. And two big things from that movie: his sister, fucking amazing. I loved her. She was great. And the little homie, I mean, he didn't make it, but the little homie with the bandana, he was a gangster. I wanted to be as tough as him when I grow up. Number 8, Prey. I absolutely love this movie. I've rewatched it multiple times. I like the way they brought the Predator to life again with the animatronics and the way the story plays out. I love the fact that they're speaking the actual Navajo language and the interaction with the dog. I really just I fell into the world and the creation of this version of Predator. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm hoping they do it right and it keeps just getting better. Nervous. That's a scary thought. I really liked it. I liked the way it played out. I love the back to basics of it. Human versus predator, and I loved her character. I loved the dog. The dynamic with her brother, and just the way they built it and the visuals and stuff. So I really enjoyed Prey. It also surprised. I mean, straight to Hulu. I was like, oh shit, definitely a banger. I loved it. I'm excited, and it gave me what's the word I'm looking for? Hope. It's not necessarily hope, but excitement for the future. Probably hope. I'll go with that. Number 7. So, sequels are usually god awful. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is my number 7. It's, again, a surprise. I was expecting this movie to be enjoyable because the first one to me was really good. Of course, they had to go through and like redo the whole thing, but thank God to make the character look proper and such. But because of that, I was like, you know what, the sequel's probably just gonna be super safe, and they're just not gonna hit anything to make it over the top. And I was wrong. I mean, I love the story. I love the way they included Tails. The fact that they kept true to Knuckles being antagonist or villain at first, and then how they included his tribe, and he becomes a good guy, and the relationship they build. And Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey, killed it. I love the way they furthered the characters. I love the nods to the video games and to the backstory and lore of the characters. Even when, I mean, we got Super Saiyan Sonic. I know that's not what he's called, but that don't matter. And we got the Gem. Like, they did so many smart things that I didn't expect. So I gotta give them credit when credit is due. I respect it. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. Plus, we get the tease of Shadow the Hedgehog. Intrigued to see where they go with that. Are we gonna whip out the guns? I mean, we have to for his character. But that being said, I'm intrigued. I'm excited to see where it goes. Big surprise. Number 6, Elvis. I love the way it was shot. It was beautiful. I think Austin Butler killed it. Tom Hanks, I mean, we knew and we know Tom Hanks is a monster, but when it comes to his monstrous talent, but here he was a real monster. I love the way they portrayed the story, the little things they dropped. I mean, the fact that we get a small, quick little glimpse of Elvis's FBI badge, because that is real. Thanks, Drunk History. The music, the way they enveloped and showed his story, and I mean, there's a few things they missed, but there's always going to be things they miss when it comes to any biopic across the board. But I really enjoyed it. I like the way they played with the music. I love the way Austin Butler, I mean, came off and gave me Elvis vibe. Took me in. I did research. I wanted to learn more about Elvis after that because I always thought Elvis music was cool. I mean, Stitch like it, I like it. That being said, we're getting to the last 5, my top 5, and this one came in clutch at the end of the year. Number 5, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Like, do not sleep on this movie. All right, it is a damn good movie. Surprisingly beautiful. Genius level story writing. Because it's a simple story, but it's just so deep in the way they develop everything with the characters. And Perrito has this scene because you have Goldie and her brother roasting each other. And then they look at Perrito, and Perrito's like, oh, it's my turn? Perrito goes, hijo de... And then it just starts bleeping out words, and then you hear, and bleeping out words. I was like, oh my God. You know the stupid cat from Puss in Boots, the first one? And this one goes, ooh. That was me watching that moment. Don't sleep on this. The step animation looked great. I love the features of it. I love the setup for future Shrek stuff. Even though I was against it, this movie made me switch sides. I'm like, I'm kind of for it now. If our writing and storytelling's on this level, shit, run it. Don't sleep on that movie. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely amazing. Definitely check out Puss in Boots: The Last Wish while you still can. It's still in theaters. But what a surprise at the end of the year. Number 4, Bullet Train. And usually those, stacked cast movies, for the most part, usually kind of flop because you have, I think, I don't know what it is, but you just have so much, you don't know where to focus, or they just don't commingle and interact correctly. That is not the case for Bullet Train. The story is great. The action is great. There's characters you fall in love with and you want more from. I mean, it's Brad Pitt. I love the dude. We know he's talented. But I love this kind of niche he's getting into as of lately, where he's getting into this groove of being like this skillful, zenned out badass in a few things. I love it. I think it's coming off supernatural and it works. I'm digging it. Plus, is it Aaron Taylor? I always forget his name, but I love the kid since Kick-Ass. That's when I was first introduced to him. I love him as Quicksilver. Didn't get enough love for that. But his whole vibe and look here, whew, went to a search. I'm like, maybe look like that. He's gonna be like, you don't have enough money. And I'm like, you right. Movie was hilarious. The two brothers, the play with the trains. Movie's hilarious. Movie has great action. Overall, just a fun movie and has multitudes of rewatchability. And that's my thing. Number 3, Avatar 2, The Way of Water. Avatar, The Way of Water. People dogging it. It is what it is. People having this conversation about it has to make $2 billion to break even. I know Cameron came out and said that, but let's be honest, people. That's a marketing tool. He said that. How many people talked about it? Has to make $2 billion. Has to make $2 billion. Has to make. We spoke that into existence. That being said, I love this movie. I like the story. I like what it's setting up. I like where it's going. You can see it getting to the point where we're gonna have this massive war battle for control or freedom in and of Pandora. I like where it's going. I like the fact that they brought back your main villains from the first one in such a smart, interesting way that I didn't even expect. Plus, we transitioned to a better MacGuffin. Instead of unobtainium, I forgot what it's called, but it's this yellow goo, and they get out of these big, beautiful whales. They have to kill them. They drain them of it, and it basically seizes human aging. And you can just see it's gold. It's like the whole new gold rush. They even, I think, make a joke on it. But I love the movie. Visually beautiful. There's a lot of these vast shots and such, but I mean, it's eye candy. You're supposed to enjoy it and go for the ride. I love the movie. I love the interaction with the creatures, the people, the Na'vi, and I'm all for it. Plus, now we're getting into this different tribes, different elements. I'm intrigued. I'm excited because 3 is supposed to come out this year. But yeah, that's why Avatar 2 is number 3 for me. Number 2, I didn't even know this was coming out until I deadass was walking to the kitchen, snack time, and my pops was watching this. And I was like, what the hell is that? I know that voice. And he was like, oh, it's a new movie on Netflix. And I was like, what is it called? Pause it for me. Boom. Sea Beast. Oh, I love Sea Beast. It makes me want a sequel. Makes me want prequels. I want to know more about these monster hunters. I want to know more about the monsters. It gave me mad How to Train Your Dragon vibes in that sense. Really loved it. I love the emotions from the monsters. This beautiful shots of the ocean. And I mean, my favorite shot is when you have Big Red or the Red Blusser, if I remember correctly, and them and thing hanging, and we're not hanging, they're floating in the water, but it's beautiful, and the story's great. The bit of lore we get, it really just set or planted seeds and makes me want more. Again, the best thing I compare it to is How to Train Your Dragon. I think it was as good, and it makes me want more. I love the animation style. I think it looks beautiful, and it surprised me because the last movie surprised me the way this one did, animation-wise, was Klaus. Again, Netflix. I'm telling you, Netflix either makes a banger, basura, most of the time, sadly. And then every now and again, something in the middle of the road where you're like, eh. But Sea Beast is not top tier. If you haven't seen it, check it out. One of my favorite movies of last year, without question. And number 1. And before I get into number 1, I know people are going to probably be like, where's these other movies like Batman and No Way Home and shit like that. First things first, the Batman is trash. All right, come at me. It is not a Batman movie. That is a regular ass shit tactical person who happens to be Batman. No Way Home. The best parts about that nostalgia, and I can go on and so forth with a bunch of other movies that came out. So hit me. I know they're thinking there's movies on this that are missing that you think are extremely rewatchable, and that is perfectly fine, but not for me, ladies and gentlemen. But my number one is Top Gun Maverick because my expectation for this was on par with the sense of, all right, cool, you know what, it's been 30 years. Everyone's doing this 30 years later sequel, and most of them haven't been doing jack. So this better be good. I was like, you know what, I'm going to put my standards a little higher because this is probably going to suck. I like the people in it, plus it was taking forever for us to be able to watch it. I like Tom Cruise. He's a dope-ass actor. I enjoy his movies. Mission Impossible, oddly enough, has gotten better, especially as of late. But I say all that because it surprised me from the jump. Just the sound design on this movie. Oh, beautiful. I love the story they tell, the way they build the team dynamic and the new crew. And this one has what I thought the first one was always missing, which is that high intense action scene, the mission. We never really get to that in the first one, and we finally get there. We get this. Who the villain is in this movie. Who knows? Very smart of them. They ain't trying to raffle or mess or raffle or whatever. What's the saying? Rustle feathers, mess with feathers. Something to do with feathers. Anyways, they stayed damn near clear of trying to pick on anyone in particular. They just put in a cold, foresty area and said run it. But we had the stakes of that mission, the intensity of it. We thought Tom Cruise was gonna die for a minute. So all in all, I really loved the movie. I thought it was beautifully shot, hella unexpected, and it was just so well done. I mean, the beach scene, the bonding. I cared about these characters, and the way they pay off Rooster and Goose and Iceman, and just like they were able to find great resolutions to classic characters and classic storylines while still establishing new ones, and then giving us that intense, over the top craziness when they have to fight and fly and maneuver, so to speak. But I loved it. I want to hear some of your favorite movies of last year. Let me know down below. Of course, again, if you think there's anything missing, let me know down below why. I love hearing from you. Comments, questions, concerns, requests. If you want some more information on certain things, let me know. But until next time, stay safe, be well, y con mucho amor. Adios.